Hello and welcome to Project Talk, your favorite 7 p.m. on a Thursday night live stream with one American and one Canadian. And that's all the energy I have for tonight. Good night, everybody. Hello, Ollie. Ollie has joined us.
Ollie,
Oh,
Ollie, Ox,
lucky
and
Ollie.
free.
Mark gets bragging rights. He was first. He said he got a message from YouTube about being a mod here and that he should come and promote a good stream for chat. And I don't know if he was being serious or if he was jerking my leg. But if he's serious, that's a new feature I haven't heard about on the old YouTubes. But Sergio is here, and Ollie is here, Duff is here, and Martin from Iceland has joined us.
Long time no see. How are you doing, McFly?
We were just saying the reason that we're late is because we're late every week. The reason the reason we were late, we were actually talking about viewership. Is full disclosure, is a little tanky. And we were like, nobody's coming on Thursday nights, and then all of a sudden here's Ollie and Martin, and there is Gene. Oh, you know what? Thanks again, Gene. Absolutely appreciate you, brother. Martin says he is doing fine.
See, I have questions to ask, but I don't know if the timing that I was going to discuss would actually work for you. So we should probably talk offline, or I should message you on the Twitters, and then we can bring it up.
All right, well, shoot me a message real quick, and we'll see. Like, I'm full disclosure. I don't ever care. I mean, as long as it's family friendly.
Yep. Oh no, it's not. It's not that. It's discussing adjustments we might be able to make to the schedule a little bit. But
no, that's fine. Like, I want them involved in that. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm gonna DM you a picture as well.
Okay. It's not your
but just
again,
so that I can share it, if anybody has a recommendation on a piece of software that runs on Android that I can upload my photos to my own Linux server, I would appreciate it. I used to use one, and I can't remember what it's called. I think it was called, no, it's not SyncThing. I tried SyncThing. I didn't like it as far as the phone goes. But the one I used on the phone worked great until I updated my SMB server, and now it doesn't work anymore. And there hasn't been any updates to the software in like 3 years. So if you guys have a suggestion on how to run my own cloud so I can upload my own stuff to my own server, that'd be great. Martin says he's meeting up with Amy Didi on Saturday. She's in Iceland. I read that. That is
I did see that too.
I'm glad that you guys are able to I was going to say hook up, but that doesn't sound right. Able to schedule properly so that you can see one another in person. That's always amazing because you think, like, she lives here. I think she lives in California. And then here's Martin way over in Iceland, a whole different piece of land.
Made of ice, apparently. And I don't know. I don't know geography.
At 50 years old, which is me, I never thought that I would be in a point in my life where I knew a person on every continent. I mean, besides the continents that don't have people. You know what I mean? Like, every country, like, no matter where it is, I know somebody there, and it's
people that are in continent. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. But it's just amazing.
That's poopy.
It's just amazing that can happen. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, Duff said, "I Canada even real?" I want to. I don't know if this is true because you always, anything that you see on the internet, you have to take with a grain of salt, right? But I seen this thing on a reel on the Instagrams that the guy said he was from Canada. He was a comedian from Canada, and he was saying that like it's a typical stereotype that, like, when Canadians come to America, the Americans are always like, until you finally say, yes, that's where I'm from, Canada. And he goes, I got so irritated with this. He said, I actually looked into where that came from. Now, again, I don't know if this is true. The guy, he was a comedian.
Hold on. You didn't say I don't know properly.
Oh, I didn't say I don't know.
I don't know. There you go.
No, the latest one I'm stuck on is help me understand. But anyway, we looked into it, and apparently it comes from England, and I forget what century he said it was in. I wasn't paying that much attention because he was Canadian, and I don't.
Hey, you know what? Give your shirt a tug.
I don't typically listen to those Canadians when they talk.
You have the face of a jerk. You jerk face.
But he said that in the century that it came from, it was a way of the person who is speaking, when they said "a" at the end, it was their way of saying, "I'm sorry for being boring." And he said, what really got me is the other stereotype of Canadians is that we're always apologizing. And then I find out, "A" means I'm sorry for being boring.
You can all go to heck.
Now again,
I'm sorry.
I don't know if that's true. I got a good giggle out of that. So
I'm a story. Oh, don't break that. I went to pull something down and it hooked a glass bottle that just went off the. So I'm still frustrated with the Mini. Jumping right into things that aren't going well. Also, my desk is a complete mess because I've been working on too many things. You ever have a day like that where everything is terrible and you just hate your life?
yeah. No, I don't typically hate my life. I'm in a bout of depression right now. Like I'm a little bit dumpy.
Yep.
And I don't have any reason to be. Like it just comes and goes. But
this is my latest print off the Mini.
Yeah, that is definitely weird. But yet it kept going.
So it didn't layer shift. It eventually worked its way out, and it's definitely the z-axis binding up a little bit, because the other one that it printed, it's in a different spot, but it stuck there for a little bit longer, so you ended up with this like super over extruded line.
Yeah, it's like extra plastic there.
Yeah. So I'm not having a great time, and I had to correct it because somebody's like, "Oh, so you're saying the Mini is a piece of garbage?" I'm saying no. I'm saying my Mini doesn't work properly. There are thousands and thousands of people who've posted pictures and stuff from theirs that have had absolutely no problems. I'm not saying mine's the typical thing. I'm just saying that I'm frustrated with mine.
I have to look, because what James said is, I'm legit going to throw out the Mini. What a useless piece of. Oh no, he said trash. Sorry.
I didn't swear. I did tell my wife.
He even tries to not swear in our DMs, which is pretty funny to me.
I did tell my wife that I was going to throw it in a snowbank, because
it might run better then.
Because the thing is, I did this too, right? I'm sitting here and I'm jogging it 1 millimeter at a time to look to see if there's any binding.
Now, let me ask you this, because we were talking a little bit before the stream, so that you guys, are kind of up to speed. Like we were talking about this a little bit, but because James said, like, he can run it up and down and it doesn't bind, so he's wondering if it has something to do with the motor driver.
So I thought I would re-lubricate everything just in case.
Well, I'm wondering, like, do you think it could be a heat issue, like something's overheating?
But the fact that, like, this was a, it might have done it. Did it do it? No, that's just where it switches to. I use variable layer height.
In the same spot.
No, but like, so the first time it happened, I'm like, it's obviously binding. So I went through and I lubricated everything really well. And the second time it happened in a different spot, but also significantly less catching. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not as bad.
So what if not necessarily for the duration of the show, but for the next little bit, like, even if you wrote a G-code file real quick and just have that thing run up and down the Z,
just to smooth things in, perhaps
just a bunch of times, and I mean, we can all, like, we're all staring at that gorgeous face of yours. we can see if that thing binds up.
That's a good idea. So I'm gonna go real slow. I've put lots of grease on it, and then I honestly don't know how to write a section of G code that would just. Well, I mean, I guess I could just have it spam over and over again. Move to Z170, move to Z10, Z170.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That sounds probably more entertaining than what we usually do. It's all hail Hypnotoad.
uh,
Oh, I thought I heard something. It didn't jar, but like I thought I heard like a little squeak.
Everybody listen very closely. Don't anybody say anything.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, my printer literally just pooped to the bed. You know, it's interesting though. So I oiled it, greased it up the first time, and then ran it up the z-axis and then back down again. And then I could tell based on where all the excess grease ended up, how far down in the like captive nut for the threaded rod is, because that's where all the grease got left. So I know that it's like this far into the assembly.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get this print out too, because it actually, from a layer quality, like an actual line quality, it does a better job than my Mark III does. I was talking to, well, I mean, this has been going on for a while. I'm sure you remember a couple years ago me talking about like when the Mark III was brand new, I ended up with something that Chris Riley ended up calling the 602 issue, I think it is, which is there's an open GitHub thing, or well, it's closed now, for the fact that people were getting
ringing.
No, it's inconsistent extrusion. So if I take one of the prints that's been done on the Mark III, if the light hits it normal, like fine, then it looks fine. But if the light hits it the wrong way, you can see it almost looks like it's weaving. Like it starts off slightly over, like it's hard to say.
No,
what
I know
it actually
exactly.
is,
Yeah, I remember having this conversation because
yeah.
mine does it too.
Yeah, so Chris and I went through a bunch of stuff on it together, and he pointed me at that. He's like, "Oh, there's a known issue for this," and so then I was talking to Shane, and I'm like, I want to get rid of this issue. I understand that it might be related to hardware. I'm not complaining about it because it's been very reliable, and the prints are still good quality. But like now that I'm seeing people that are doing prints that it's like, you know, really pretty off the bed, like does not need to be sanded, painted, any of that type of stuff. I would like to get into that. And he goes, well, he basically we started doing some troubleshooting. He's like, well, here's the things that we have found that might be related to it. So there's a bunch of people that say they have 602 and it ends up being. So the first thing he's like, have you ever changed the nozzle? I'm like, I'm pretty sure that I have, but let's start there, because I know that at one point I completely disassembled the hot end assembly, went through everything, made sure the Bondtech gears were properly lined up, made sure that the filament path was nice and even. I'm pretty sure at that point I changed the nozzle, but we put a fresh one on it because I'm like, I would love for that to be just the problem, you know, like the nozzle needs to be changed, and now I get beautiful prints. It is printing now with a new nozzle, and the issue is still there.
Yeah.
So then he was saying sometimes if the heat break gets slightly bent, it creates this like inconsistent pressure. So the next thing would be to completely disassemble it again and roll the heat break on a table and make sure that it moves evenly. But because I was like ready to be like, you know, like go and buy like a $200, because I'd have to replace the extruder and the hot end because people have had luck with both, and I don't want to do this twice.
Right.
So.
Well, I just not to interrupt, but I just noticed that I've got the little icon up there showing that I've got poor signal.
You are a little pixelated.
Speed test. Yeah, I just ran a speed test and I only got a 1.2 upload. So I'm going to go reset my networking hardware out here. So if it drops me, I'll come back. But you should be good to entertain the people for a minute.
I guess I could just cheat and roll this dial back and forth all the time, right? That's the easy way to do it. The only problem is I don't think the other Prusias do this, but I have had printers before, like you can say, like scroll it all the way up. Ooh, let's not do that. Pro tip, don't go all the way down to 0 because it buries the nozzle into the bed, and That's no bueno. Anyways, I was gonna say I've had printers where it queues it, so if I go all the way up to 200 and then down to like 20, and then up to 200, it'll go all the way up to 200, like go back and forth. But if I correct on this one, it will stop moving halfway through. So it's like it's issuing the commands like 5 steps at a time or whatever. I don't know if that makes sense, but you're back.
I am. It's weird. How can I unplug my network and not lose connection?
Yeah, that is weird. Like I never saw you hiccup out.
Well, it's a little faster, but it's still only like 9.
You look wrong.
10, 11. But it should be like 40. And it was fine before we started. So I can't imagine I'm bogging the network connection down that bad with this stream. So we'll hang in there. We'll see what happens. Connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, I'm not on Wi-Fi. Let me try restarting this switch back here.
The host is unstable.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying. There's not a light for that. It dropped that time. Am I back?
Yep. You just magically appeared on your screen.
Yeah, it completely dropped that time.
Your audio might be out of sync. Say something again.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, your audio is out of sync.
Hello.
It might catch up though. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll run a speed test again. We'll see what happens.
I realized I could write the G code to do this, but I can also just sit here since we're just chatting and do it manually.
Yeah, I mean my download speeds are in the 600s, which for out here is not bad.
So the custom computer video topped out at about, I think, just over 11,000 views.
Okay.
Ever since then, I've been, I've got Signal on my phone, and it's got the like note section. So every time I think of a cool non-computer looking computer to build, I make a list. So I've got like 12 or 13 concepts written down, and
Nice.
I've been spending my lunch hours at work like penciling them out and figuring out like the dimensions for stuff and then what I could fit into them. So I'm pretty exciting. I try and do 4 a year, and they're going to end up reusing hardware because I can't I can't afford to put
someday you'll be able to though.
I mean, I would love to get to the point where I can get companies that are like, hey, we'd like to sponsor one of your builds.
It'll happen.
But
I think so. So here's what I want you to make for me. I want you to, you know what a Cray supercomputer is? Cray?
I mean, I've heard the term before. I'm just drawing a blank.
Okay, so Cray supercomputers, I believe they were around before Silicon Graphics, but like they were the big name in supercomputers. But they would make one that actually looked like a round couch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like the back of it, like the back was real tall, but then it came down and it was a couch. If here, let me do some Googling because it's just awesome. I always wanted one. So my kid, it's got to be my kid playing out in the front yard again.
On a jumpoline?
No.
You don't have one of those anymore?
No. The insurance company made us get rid of it. Oh, let me tell you in a little side story. The insurance company decided that they were going to pull a fast one. A new insurance company has come into the state of Florida. So the current insurance company was like, hey, you qualify for this new insurance company. And if you don't respond to this letter, we're going to move you over to the new one. And it was twice as much. Instead of $2,000, it was $4,000. And that's if you don't respond, they're just going to move you over because the insurance that we're on is supplemented by the state of Florida so that they don't leave.
Right.
And it's already like $600 a year more than I was paying before. So,
I mean, what do you think the chances of me being able to do this without losing any data are?
Do what? What? Who? What?
Me being able to move this all the way to the top without losing any data.
What data would you lose?
Somebody in chat will I'll tell you, let you in on the joke.
Oh, okay.
Can you see the end here?
I can't actually see you at all right now. I'm trying to.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
That explains it. If you could see my screen, see my.
So that's a Cray supercomputer.
That's pretty fancy.
So they made them to where you could sit on them because they were so big and they needed so much cooling that these companies would put them out in the atriums of their business so that it had a lot of air around it and the heat would dissipate.
Big increase in testicular cancer around that time, I bet.
Yeah, whatever. So so what I want you to design me is a case that is a full-scale Cray supercomputer, but it's a case for a Raspberry Pi Nano.
Okay.
And the whole thing has to be 3D printed other than the cushions.
Are you going to print it?
No, I want you to print it and mail it to me.
Print it and mail it to you.
Yeah, like you do for the other YouTubers.
Okay, do you get the joke now?
No.
Can you see this guy?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's Lieutenant Commander Data, you see, and
that's Data. I got it.
Oh, so hey, did I tell you?
Really see now? I can see him better because he's down on your black shirt. But really, all I could see was his head, his face being so white.
Did I tell you that my Petsky Robots arcade cabinet finally ended up in a video?
Did it?
About half of it ended up. He's actually got it on a shelf. Sorry, as I say this isn't all complaint. I was very excited to see this because I don't want people, like, as I say about half of it, I'm saying like legitimately. In his latest video towards the end, he's got it on a shelf behind him. So you can see up to like the teeth.
But he still hasn't mentioned it or anything.
No, and there was no specific agreement that he was going to do that.
There's always the hopes that it's going to happen. Hell, yeah. I was thrilled to be in Derek's video, and you can't even really tell it's me.
But you got 10 subscribers from it?
I don't know if that's what happened. I have no idea.
I don't know. I installed the Alpha 5 beta, or the Alpha, as I say beta, the Alpha 5 release of Prusa Slicer 2.6 today. It has organic supports now, which is pretty neat.
Yep.
The only problem with it is that their organic supports don't support variable layer height, so I couldn't use it for printing the shuttle case. Which is unfortunate because it was going to save quite a bit of time, it looked like.
Yeah. Vince said, I finally made it. You may now continue. Excellent. We're waiting.
So I think this axis is moving quite smoothly. I don't see any.
Yeah, it seems to be.
Maybe it's worked itself out now. Maybe I just didn't work it over enough when I relubricated.
So Ollie says that he's actually sat on one of those Crays. They had one at his university. They had both a blue and a one. I think that's a blue one and a red one. I think it was a Cray 1 and a Cray 2.
It wasn't a Cray.
It is Cray. They were Cray expensive. Sean Butler has joined us. Hello, Sean.
Shawnee doesn't know. How are you, Sean? Taking off some support material. Hoping to stab myself in the eyes with my flesh cutters.
Those flesh cutters will get you every time.
I got some retro biting for a friend of mine underway. It's funny. I spend so much time finding materials that are printed in this color, and then I spend a bunch of time making other plastics that are already this color look not that color anymore.
Look nicer, yeah. So I think I told you guys last week, because I think that's when I did it, but maybe not. I don't remember. I'm old and I don't remember things.
Member berries?
But I spent some time prepping to get the T-Bird out of the impound yard.
You did tell us about this last week a little bit.
Okay, cut down the death tree. Did I tell
tree.
you guys about the death tree? That thing was just gnarly. The stump was still there. I had to beat all of the thorns off of it to stop it from making me bleed. But I decided that yesterday was going to be the day. I don't even know why. I mean, like, I worked yesterday and then I got done with work and I thought, yeah, I'm going to go see what I can do with it. And she's out.
Well, good job.
It took about 5 hours total. That car is heavy. Holy crap, is that car heavy. I'm pleased to report there was nothing living underneath it. No snakes. There was some spider webs, but I didn't even see any spiders, so that was good. No critters ran out from underneath it, so that part was all fine. There will be a video coming on the process of getting it out of there, but unfortunately, I don't think she's going to make it to the Hot Rod Power Tour. I have 80 days. I have 80 days to be ready to go. And she is a lot rougher than I remembered her to be.
Hey, you know what? If Derek can do like 3 cars a week, you can do one in 80 days.
Yeah, but Derek has a larger budget than I do.
Your budget's like a tin can.
Yeah, my budget is if I don't already have the parts laying around here, then I can't do it. So what was really crazy, I'm going to put the picture up in a minute, but what was really crazy is the back of the car was sunken into the ground so far that the rear suspension was actually all the way relaxed. So the car itself was on the dirt and the tires were in holes far enough that it relieved all the pressure off the rear suspension. So the first thing that I had done was went around, I stretched an air hose out there and I put air in all the tires. And passenger side rear tire, as soon as I aired it up, when I stopped, I could hear it hissing. So I knew that was going to be a no-go. And these are 15s, which are not easy to find and stupid expensive when you do. Sean said my budget sounds a lot like his. But then I went and did the 2 front tires, and they not only took air, but they held air.
And are continuing to hold air?
What's that?
And are continuing to hold air?
Yeah, so they still have air in them now. I can't wait to share this picture. I'm trying to. I have been here on this property since 2004. This car probably arrived here in 2005. So 18 years sitting exactly where it was. I offloaded it off the trailer where it was, and that's where it stayed for 18 years. Plus, I had it sitting at the other house for probably 5 years. So it has just been sitting. Plus, the guy that I bought it from, it was just sitting in his backyard. I don't know for how long.
Has it run in the time that you've had it?
No, it doesn't have a motor in it.
Well, that would be a hindrance, I suppose.
Yeah, motor came separately. I got the engine, but the guy had left it lay outside and it was all rusted up and stuff. So it's probably not any good without massive machining. But I say all this to let you know that both front tires actually have air in it and both back tires don't. But
I just broke my iFixit tweezers.
Oh.
That was unexpected.
You should get an iFixit set and see if you can fix your tweezers. So without further ado, I present to you the 1966 Ford Thunderbird.
Look at that thunder turd.
in all her glory. Now, I actually have all 4 hubcaps. The one is laying on the trailer there in front of the wheel. I had to take it off to get to the valve stem because for whatever reason, that tire had a short valve stem and it didn't stick out of the hubcap. But I'm going to tell you right now, those hubcaps weigh more than most current day cars. They are massive. They are massive. If they were to come off at road speed, someone
kill
would
somebody.
die. I mean, it would be like a truck tire coming off. So Duff said had issues finding tires for 15 and 16-inch wheels. Didn't see that coming. Yeah, the 15s are tough. Like you can order them off of Amazon and stuff, but you're going to pay such a fortune for them. So I'm going to go hit a couple of the local used tire people and see if they got tires that I can just chuck on there for $5 or $10.
Do you really think it's worth assaulting somebody for? I don't understand.
But the problem is if you look just behind the rear wheel there where the fender comes down and it looks like it's laying on the trailer, it's not. There's about a half an inch of space in there because the floor of the trunk is actually on the trailer.
It's like a dog with its belly down is what you're saying.
It is as true a lowrider as it can possibly be. Now, here's the super sad part. I got really excited about this car. When I first bought it, I wasn't super excited about it because it's a Thunderbird. You know, like nobody hot rods a Thunderbird. The hard part is just the configuration, the suspension configuration and stuff. It's just tough. But I bought it because the price was right. And then I threw it in the yard for 20 plus years and didn't care about it anymore. It was rough like this when I got it. Like, I mean, maybe not this rough. It was 20 some odd years less rough, but it was still rough. But it had already been partially disassembled. I don't know if you can tell from that picture, but the corners of the hood are bent. I don't know what they did to them, but they bent the hood. But I found, and let me see if I can pull that up. I found on Amazon. I found on Facebook I don't remember if it was a 65 or 66 in what I would consider to be fairly beautiful condition.
Fairly beautiful.
For $3,000.
So did you buy it?
I didn't, and now I'm sorry because somebody else did.
It was me. Ha ha ha! Happy birthday.
Oh, if only that were true.
If I win the lottery, I'll buy you a $3,000 car.
That's nice of you. Did I save it? I had to have saved it. Yes, I saved it. Let me find a decent picture of it. There's a pretty decent picture of it. So let me. I don't know what's going to happen when I do that. Okay, it just blanks out. No, I mean this isn't like a show car, but as you can see,
it's in decent shape.
It's in much better shape than mine.
It's a going to town rig.
It is a going to town rig. But yeah, that's $3,000 for that. That's a 65.
And
so,
you hemmed and you hawed and it was too late.
Yeah, well, it wasn't up for sale for very long. I'm trying to think because I thought I found another one today, but I don't see it. I don't see it in my listing. But anyway, so it has switched over to where I was thinking maybe I'll find something else. But unfortunately, right now, the budget just isn't there to do it. This isn't a call to arms. Don't start. Gene, put your wallet away, man. No, seriously, it's not a call to arms. I'm not looking for handouts. I mean, unless you got a really nice car sitting around that you want to just, get rid of cheap. But I want to do hot rod power tour this year. And I might have to spoil a little something, but
is it your kids? You gonna spoil your kids?
No, I already do that. Plan A was the Thunderbird, and knowing that the Thunderbird could go wrong, I had a plan B and a plan C in place.
The Canadian plan, plan A?
Plan A. I had a plan A. So obviously the Thunderbird's just it's not gonna work. It's the whole underside of the hood I can't lift the hood up because the hinges are stuck, but that's a different problem. But I can see under there, and like chunks of it are just falling off. It's so rusted. So it's now a parts car. I'm going to end up parting it out because it has all of its trim. In fact, some of the trim is doubled up. But pretty much every body panel on that thing's got speed holes in it and, weight reduction. So that's fine. It's fine. It makes me sad because it would have been a really sweet car to take on Power Tour. Now, I'm still going to buy that 460 off of that guy because he only wants $500 for it.
That was funny though, eh? The joke I just made.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh no, my other roll of Jesse 500 PLA, the end came loose.
That's gonna suck. Open it carefully.
It's one that's already been opened. I picked it up and like the end was folded in and then it snapped.
Oh,
so
too much moisture.
It's PLA. It's not really usually an issue.
So, well, it is for me in Florida. So anyway, my plan B is my Talon.
What your plan B? We be talking like pirates now.
Arr, my plan B. My plan B, my 92 Eagle Talon. The problem with the Talon, it's stupid fast. It's fun to drive. That's not the problem. I'm loading it up. The problem comes in the fact that it's a 92, which while falls under the classic ruling, because it's 31 years old now. The problem really is when you
wish upon a star.
Mod the ECU in the Talon. The problem with the Talon is like when you're out on hot rod power tour, people aren't going to necessarily recognize it as a hot rod, right?
It's more like a dad bod than a hot rod.
Maybe. I mean, the car, again, it's stupid fast and it's really a lot of fun to drive. But it also needs a transmission. And unfortunately, the good transmission builders are no longer doing it because you can't get parts for them anymore. So that's tough. Absolutely. Dude, I still have the Palm. Oh, you're going to take me down a rabbit hole. I'm sure their website isn't up anymore. Who was the company that sold the software for Palm to data log the DSMs? Come on, you got to know because I can't remember off the top of my head.
Are you asking me?
I have their T-shirt, but the logo, their logo, I designed. That's how I got the T-shirt. They sent me the T-shirt because I designed their logo.
I don't know.
I know you don't know. I was talking to Duff. I'm sorry.
I don't know, and I've never known. I'm just a piece of garbage.
It'll come to me if you don't remember. He said he can't recall. It'll come to me. But anyway, so yeah, I still have that Palm. In fact, I was so tired because it ran on AAA batteries, and I was so tired of the batteries going dead on me all the time. I duct taped 2 D-size batteries to the back of it and soldered them in. I'm such a hacker. But anyway, so
what you want to do? You want to be a hacker, code cracker, slacker? Wasting time with all the chat room yackers. And now you just lost all the monetization.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we know that you only do this for the money.
That's right. I roll around in the 6 cents that they send me. So they should warn you, though. It should pop up that they took around DSM Link. No, DSM Link was the more expensive one. This was.
How's that? Sure. Let's see.
Let's see if I can Google it.
See if I can get. Oh, that looks okay, except for it's not focused on what I wanted to focus on. So we'll spend a couple of seconds getting the focus on this guy, and then you guys can watch me do some soldering. It's also too bright. I'm overexposed.
Pocket logger.
And I think we'll decrease the brightness slightly. What do you think? That looks nice and rich now.
Yeah, in fact, you can still go to digital. It's digital tuning. You can still go to digitaltuning.com. They're still around. Yeah, I'm probably freezing up. It still says I have crap connection. You can actually go to digital tuning. That's my logo on the top of that screen. That's awesome that it's still there.
You should show.
I said what?
You should show it on the
I
live
put a
stream.
link in the chat. Anyway, so Plan B has now been pushed to Plan C because I got permission for a new Plan B.
From the Home Minister?
I don't know. I have to be careful because the now Plan B car, which was my Plan C car, is a car that's going to be in an upcoming video. A really special video that I've told you about, James.
Oh, yeah.
Paying tribute to somebody?
The D-Man?
Yeah.
I know which one we're talking about.
I don't know if I really want to give away what it is, but it is a 70s car. I'll tell you, it's a 1974. And it is definitely a sports car. It's not necessarily a hot rod. That's a hot rod. But that's now Plan B. So the Thunderbird's going to get parked, probably back in the dirt where it was. Probably not really where it was, because that was really hard to get out of there. The rear valance on that car, like, grated the dirt as it pulled up onto the trailer. It worked like an excavator bucket. Yeah.
Need to get me one of those fume extractors because when I'm sitting here, it literally just goes straight at my face.
Well, you're the fume extractor.
Uh,
You know, if you're not soldering every day, it's fine.
I solder twice a day.
That's like saying, you know, like you have to have a fume extractor every time you huff paint. I mean, spray paint something.
Yeah, we've decided that I won't do that indoors anymore. Or I'll be doing it in my own private apartment. No, I'm just kidding. It was never that bad,
but it looks like Hot Rod Power Tour is still on. I'm pretty excited.
Just modified.
Yeah, it's just a different car. Which that car will actually be for sale by the time that I take it. So it'll get pretty good. It'll get pretty good coverage. Plus, you know, it'll be for sale. See www.funkinggarage.com for details. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's exciting. If I can get that car hasn't run in at least 19 years. So, but it did just have the transmission rebuilt 19 years ago. And then was parked and never used.
I mean, there are worse things to sit as brand new than the transmission. You know, like,
yeah. Except for like the seals were never even really worked in, so it does have a transmission leak.
Oh, I see.
But if I have to drop the transmission out of it and put new seals in it, I've done worse things. I had somebody bring me their car today that they were driving, and all of a sudden the power steering went away. And I said, oh, well, that particular car actually has a separate fan belt, like a separate serpentine belt for the power steering. Like it only runs the power steering pump. So maybe the belt broke. And then they were on their way here to drop it off, and they said this power steering came back. Well, you didn't pick up a belt off the road. And then it went away just as they were getting here. But I'm pretty sure it's the pump. Because when you turn it lock to lock, like when you get to the lock, it like... and it's not belt squeal, so... Oh, Thomas Maker Viking is here. How are you, Thomas? Oh, good times, good times. Yeah, I've got all kinds of cars in my saved list on Facebook. I came across a 1967 Ford Fairlane 500 four-door for $5,900 that I would absolutely love, with the exception of two problems. One, I don't have $6,000 to drop on it. And two, it has 666 miles on it. Somebody think that guy just put that in there. But that's a bad omen.
I hate to
Get
tell
it?
you this, but just about every vehicle gets to 666 at some point.
Yeah, but it still has it on there. I'm sure he just like threw that in there as a number. There's a Firebird. I found a Fiero, a 1987 Pontiac Fiero for $1,000 with a blown head gasket. That is a perfect LS swap car. It's pretty rough though. But it'll be okay. I really want to make the power tour. If I have to do it in the grocery getter, I'll do it in the grocery getter. I just really want to do it in something nicer.
The thing is, as your friend and somebody who wants to see you succeed, you need to start bringing something that people want to see to get people to go to your YouTube channel. So I think you should try and bring something, even if it's not a car that you're if you've got something that'll run that you're going to do work to eventually and that people will stop.
Oh yeah. I got what you're saying. Like, don't drive the grocery getter because that doesn't bring people to the channel. Well,
They're
actually,
like, oh, look at that guy.
did. The grocery getter was the first video we ever released, and it's done pretty well, stupidly. But no, I totally. It's got to be something that's going to be absolute eye catching. So
this is the USB board for the Raspberry Pi version of the shuttle PC.
nice.
So it's super tiny. There is no room for me to put in a mounting screw. So I've built it so it's two separate pieces. So this will extend, hopefully, if my measurements are correct, because I did do a little rough math. Yeah, this will extend into here, and then the. Oh, sorry.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Essentially, okay, you can see that there. Okay, so the board extends inside of it, and then the USB ports actually push against the back, and then the cap slides over top of it and overlaps the front, so that this has no place to go. So
nice.
Yeah, that's the plan, man.
Duff said, "Let's get a Lambo kit." Man, those never looked right on the Fieros. They're too short. They're not right. Oh, I do, and it is on my bucket list. I want to build a Factory 5 GTM car. And if you haven't looked at one of those, it's Factory 5 builds some really nice kit cars, but it uses I want to say it's a C5 Corvette for the suspension and brakes and the engine and some of the interior. And then it uses a Porsche G50 transmission because it's mid-engined. And like, it's a stupid amount of horsepower for a car that weighs almost nothing. It's glorious. So, but now my wife told me that I should my wife told me that I should invite the current owner of the Plan B car along with on Hot Rod Power Tour. I can't tell this story either. It's going to give away too much.
I believe you are correct that it would give away too much.
Let's just say I can't invite him.
Let's just say you can't.
It cannot. I it's so hard not giving out spoilers.
Spoiler alert, this is a spoiler. I've decided, not that I'm encouraging you to, I've decided that I'm okay with spoiling some stuff for the live stream.
So here's the thing. At the point that I release the video, everybody's going to know what the car is. Can't I just say what it is? I mean, they're going to know as soon as they see the thumbnail. I got to put the car in the thumbnail or nobody's going to watch the video.
Yeah, that, like, nobody knows what's going on with it or the work that you're going to do to it or any of the project stuff. So like talking about what the car is makes no difference.
Right. And it may actually be good for people like, hey, I want to see that.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to continue with the story. My wife said you should invite the current owner of the said car. And I said, I cannot invite him because I'm already taking number one son with me.
And it only seats two people.
And the car I'm working on only seats two people. I said, nobody ever wants to ride in that little cubby in the back. Anybody know what I'm talking about yet? Hello, Uncle Ron. Long time no talk.
Yeah, you're saying how great it's been to not talk to Uncle Ron.
I didn't get to release the video this week. There was a glitch in the middle of, like, I went back and watched it. I always watch it one more time before I upload it just to make sure I'm happy with it. And there was a glitch in it, and I didn't get it fixed in time.
Do you know
So
what's happened to me? I've gone through, I edit my video, and some of the videos are pretty elaborately edited, as you've seen.
right.
I watch it start to finish in the editor, entire thing. And then I export it and I upload it. And then when I watch it on YouTube, there's like a cut from like A to B. Okay, so like the background of this, it's like the last video I filmed, I'm talking like this with a printer in front of my face, just exactly the same. I'm talking the entire time. It's just filming me talking, and then I'm putting B footage over top of it.
Right.
Right. So there's spots where I have B footage linked together, and it turns out I missed the connection by one frame. Watching it in the editor didn't show it. I upload it to YouTube. I'm watching it, and it's like when it cuts between this, there's just that one jarring frame in between where it's like, something was different. It wasn't A or B. It was this. So then I have to go back and edit it. So like the last time I watched through it on YouTube, found like 6 spots where it did that, then had to go pinpoint those exact spots in the editor and then try and guess where the connection problem was, because the editor said that it was fine.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
yeah, I obviously I watch it while I'm editing, and then
you better watch it.
I'll usually watch it in the editor. I'll export it and watch it then in VLC, and then I watch it again in VLC right before I upload it, or sometimes while it's uploading, because that's usually enough time to catch it. But
well, because you can always cancel the upload, or you can.
Yeah, exactly.
But the number of times I've re-uploaded. Sorry, go ahead.
What I haven't decided is if I'm going to continue on my end screens, my walking away shots. According to analytics, nobody's watching them.
I would say double edge them. So you should do that, but you should do it with one of those like, the screen where it like shows other videos to watch on your channel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Make it double source.
That's what I use that for, is the subscribe button and then the video recommendations.
It's been a while since I was able to watch one of your videos.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been a while, okay? But the thing is, it doesn't matter what you put there. People are always going to want it. But like the end videos, like sometimes that's the hook. People go out from that one to the next video. And sometimes, like, I think the average person needs to watch 5 of your videos before they'll subscribe to you.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't like stop doing an end screen. I just don't know if I'm going to go through the process, because that's a lot of work to film those. Like, I have to go find remote locations, so I'm not constantly doing walkaways in the same spot. Like, I've never reused one of them, and I've done some pretty elaborate, when we were staying at hotels and stuff, outside of White Castle. There's the White Castle reference for the evening if you're playing bingo. Dude, we got to bring back bingo. That'll get the people back in here.
Dude, we got to bring back Chris. That'll get the people back in here.
Yeah. So Walter has started streaming again. He's trying to shoot for mornings again.
I haven't seen that.
He does it from his lazy boy chair, and he's all like slumped back and sleeping. Uncle Ron said green screen. But you still have to go film the area, and at that point, I might as well just film myself walking away. So, but no. So, anybody want to venture a guess what my Plan B car is? I already told you it's a 74, and it's a 2-seater. So
it's a Chevette.
Oh, there was a Chevette for sale that had a V8 conversion. And like, it was already partially done, and like I said, it's a project. You have to finish it or whatever. Like, it still needed wiring and stuff. And then, like, I was looking at the pictures, and you could tell that it was all like just half but done.
Yep.
But you tell me that a V8 in a Chevette wouldn't be just
fun times and happy days.
Uncle Ron, you go with a 454. It would just crumble under the weight. Duff said, I love how serious Glenn looks in his intro. Oh,
did we lose you again?
No, I'm here. I'm here. I got it's showing good signal now, but yeah, Duff said, I love how serious Glenn looks in his intro. I think he's talking about the trailer. That was a lot of fun to film. That was like almost a whole day to film that. Because we did like a bunch of different takes of different things. Like, we had one thing where I was walking away from the camera, and I turned around. I had a big wrench in my hand, and and I just dropped the wrench, like, what's up, like this, and it was marring the crap out of my garage floor. I said, all right, no more of that.
Where did I put the filament holder for the Mini?
It's right there. Right.
Can you actually see it from where you're looking?
No, I have no idea.
You are a donkey.
Uncle Ron said Opal. That'd be fun too, but those cars are all pretty boned out. I don't even know if you can find a decent one of those.
Oh, there it is. Prusa Mini, king of the wild frontier.
No, I'm very excited. Like, I still think that the Thunderbird would have been like more fitting. And then again, maybe not, because the Thunderbird is more of like a cruising car, though it would have been very hot roddish when I was done with it. Like, I'd have been able to burn the tires off of it for sure with a 460 in it, even though that car's heavy. It's like 3,800 pounds. Sean said last video I saw from Walter was about some stuff. That was this morning, yeah, or yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. Yeah, he got infected. I think he said he had malware. They got his passwords.
Oh yeah, I saw that on. He was all these Bitcoin type things posting on the Twitters.
Yeah,
it wasn't Bitcoin. It was like Buttcoin or something like that, or
Buttcoin.
Buttcoin. It's like Bitcoin, but it's pretty smelly.
I guess they posted something on Facebook that got his account locked down.
Lockdown.
Stuff said on mobile that box beside James looks like something. What are you talking about? Oh. This is a family-friendly channel, Duff.
He's talking about this? I mean, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
A second while I stick this in here.
Good night, folks.
I don't think this is gonna fit.
So anyway.
Oh, there we go. Said to push.
All right, that's enough. That's enough.
I don't understand what everybody's problem is. I've just got a tightly constrained filament path.
Just make sure you lube those rods.
Okay, it's preparing for ramming speed here.
Whew, it got hot in here for some reason.
That's uncomfortable for me.
Oh, all right, Uncle Ron. When you moving to Florida, man? Tired of waiting.
Uncle Ron is Florida man. What? Half-Life 3 confirmed.
He's gonna be a Florida man if I can get him down here.
How come you never pushed me to move down there? I wouldn't survive.
Because you wouldn't.
I'm too pretty. I'd never survive the transition. I'm just too pretty.
That's right. Yeah, that was a big undertaking yesterday. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to use that footage now that there's not really a project to go along with it, but who knows? I mean, something may still come of that car.
Well, I mean, you're not doing it for this thing, but eventually you're going to get back to it. If you like, the more successful you are, the more you're going to be clamoring for content, and then you're going to be thankful you've got all these things that you can work on.
Well, and here's the thing: the line in the sand with that car is I don't want to put an excessive amount of money in it when I can go buy another one for $3,000. You know what I mean? Like To just
Okay, so
replace
fair
the
enough.
body panels on that car would cost me more than it would cost me to just go buy a different one.
Unless you craft your own.
Well, even then, I mean, even the labor then isn't worthwhile.
But
But
it's the
but
content, man. I'm just
I
I'm
could
just
find a really clean body that's just missing all of the trim, and then I have all of the trim.
I'm uncomfortable with this line of comment. I don't need to hear about you finding a body that's missing the trims.
So when I bought this car, apparently like 2 weeks before I bought this car, he had gotten rid of what was his parts car at the time. Now I don't know how rough it is. I never seen it, but he had taken all of the parts off of that he needed for this. That's why I have some doubles. The Thunderbird logo for the side, I actually have extras of those. The boomerang on the hood, which is super sought after, I have 2 of those. Unless somebody has, borrowed it from me while the car was sitting out there for 20 years. So like, it's very possible that I could find one that needs loving. And like I was telling my neighbor today, like this car in the condition it's in, maybe I should put the picture back up now that like some new people have joined us. With the condition this car is in, if I go
Wait,
and get
hold on 2 seconds. I just need to say this quickly.
Sure.
I'm in Prusa Slicer right now getting the file ready for here. You know Prusa Slicer has speeder quality?
Right.
I had it at 2.0 quality, and it was going to take 1 hour and 10 minutes. I switched it to speed, and it went up to 1 hour and 12 minutes. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just like,
No,
I just need to say, yeah.
That's great. That's funny. It's gonna take me a second to find the screen. So yeah, if I put the money into it, as far as like I go buy this 460, I give this 460 some love, I stick it in the car, I find out the transmission's bad and I have to have the transmission rebuilt. That's all fine and dandy because I can get all of that back. I can take the motor out of it, the motor and transmission out, and put it in something else later. I could build a heck of a go-kart out of it, that kind of thing. Now, if I was to put a $30,000 paint job on this car, I can never get that back. I can't move that to another car. It would be a $30,000 paint job on a car that the highest value I've ever seen on one of these was like 12 grand. Like, it's just not a sought after car, at least not yet. Uncle Ron said, is it a Flintstone mobile? I don't know. I haven't been inside of it yet. I can't open the doors when it's on the trailer because it's too low and the doors hit the fenders. But you can see, if you look at the back of the door right above and I wish it would show my pointer, but it doesn't. There's rust holes in the fender. There's rust holes in the door. I mean, it's got rust holes, but the patina on it, and it needs to be washed, and I'm still going to wash it. I'm going to wash it and film it because I think that will be a very satisfying video, but I would not paint it. I want it to look like this. I want, however many years of patina on this car. Because I think that it's beautiful. It's beautiful in its own way. And if it wasn't for the fact that they're 15-inch wheels, I'd absolutely leave those hubcaps. I love those hubcaps. But 15-inch tire choice is garbage. So
3D print a set.
What's that?
3D print a set.
3D print a set of tires?
Yeah. See if you can get a company to sponsor you with TPU. Don't tell them what it's for, though, because they're going to not want to sponsor it when they find out what you're doing.
Carbon fiber TPU?
Yep.
So Uncle Ron asked, how long did it take to pull it out?
You had to work your way up to it, I think we're all going to 666 here.
Yeah. So I got done with work at 3 yesterday. I was out there by probably 3:30, and it was a little after 7 by the time that it was done. Almost, yeah, a little after 7. So I guess a little over 4 hours. So, what I ended up doing, and Uncle Ron will understand this really more than any of you guys, unless you're stalking my house. My impound lot. So my garage is on my property like so, and I have a fenced in area at the end of it that extends out about 24 feet. And the car was in there, but it was up against the front of the fence in between the two gates. So getting it out of the gate wasn't an option. So I ended up having to pull it backwards first, but I could only pull it backwards about 10 or 12 feet because there's other cars in the way. And then I opened the gate, which promptly made the gate fall off. So now I got to fix the fence this weekend. Great. And
Did you have to fix your neighbor's fence anyway?
perfect. No, his fence is fine. That's the neighbor. But so yeah, I pulled it back the 10, 12 feet, and then I was able to back the car trailer in, and winch the car up onto the trailer. Now, I'm going to tell you, if I was to be working on my dually truck, doing a massive renovation, I would absolutely take the time to run a 1/aught power cable from the battery all the way down the frame to an Anderson connector on the back. And then I would take about 3 days of working on my trailer to add that Anderson connector also to my trailer, running to the trailer battery and then to the winch, which would allow me then to put a jumper between my truck and the trailer, and the winch to operate greater than it ever has. I'm just saying, if I was to do all of that. So zero problems pulling that car up onto the trailer. And now I just got to figure out what to do with it. It's a little bit, the car is shifted off to the passenger side hard enough that it's up against the wheel well on that side, the trailer's wheel well. So I have to use a couple of snatch blocks and route my winch cable down the side and back and just kind of tug the whole car over, give it a good tugging, and then figure out how to get a jack underneath there to, just get that ram going and get those back tires off of there. Now, the rear fender skirts are not on the car currently, and yet you can only see 3/4 of the wheel because they're jammed up in there so far. And like I said, the floor of the trunk is laying on the trailer. And that's how high I wanted it off the ground driving it. Like, I want the front to match that.
You want to be one of those guys that it takes 20 minutes to get into a parking lot because you just gotta gently. You can't have any motion. You can't have any rocking motion, or it's gonna be game over.
Yeah, well, I used to drive an 81 Isuzu pickup that I actually won awards for it being the lowest truck in Central Florida. I took it into the high school. I was still in high school at the time. I took it into the high school shop and cut out all the cross members and rebuilt my own cross members so that they didn't stick below the frame, and then dropped it to that. But this, I would put air suspension on. I would spend the money on air suspension. So
this first layer is way
Uncle
too
Ron
close.
said for 20 years of sitting, pretty impressive that only the bottoms of the tires are flat. No, what's impressive is the fact that the two front tires are holding air. I tried to find a date code. I didn't look at the other side. I was looking at this tire on the driver's side. I forget, you guys can't see it. I checked the whole side and I didn't see a date code on this. I want to find date codes on the tires just out of curiosity, but it is a biased ply radial. And the tread on that tire on the driver's side, the tread looks like it's brand new. It's amazing. So, but I'm sure she's going to come back around as content on the channel. I'm not ready to give up on her, and I do want to. I'm going to wash it. 20-year-old air. No, I put new air in it. They were flat when I went to pull it out, but the fact that they're holding air now, I'm going to wash it. I'm going to fumigate it, even though I didn't see anything crawling out of it, I still want to fumigate it.
Better safe than bed bugged, I guess.
Yeah, well, better than wasps and cockroaches. And then I'll kind of get into the interior. Like the interior is all inside. What you can see through the door is actually the door card off of the driver's side, because the driver's side window is broken. I did find replacement windows for this car for a whole $68.
Oh, so there's no need to switch to Linux then.
Right. But I mean, the point that you can buy door glass for an antique car for $68, it's because they're flat. There's no curve to them at all.
Yeah,
and
there's no effort required.
I think the glass is the same on both doors. It's just a different trim around it. But yeah, I want to get in there and check the floorboards, because there's still carpet in this. Usually when you find old cars, the carpet has already been ripped out. So there's still carpet in there, which is
Smells
kind of
wonderful,
because it'll hold the moisture to the floor. But
yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see how bad
it's just a brew in the rust.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it is. But the fact that I have a backup car is, I bet the satellite radio subscription for this car is well expired. Well, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen inside of one of these cars, but the interior is like super cool. Like the window switches are on the center console instead of on the door, and just the way it's shaped. The back seat has like bucket backs, but a bench bottom. Like it's just it's really a unique car. I can't imagine why more of them aren't out there. Why more people aren't excited about them.
You can tell about it because of the way it is.
I mean, well, I can't believe it, but I have to, because I'm looking right at it. My wife came out last night. Like, I went in to eat dinner and I said, well, she's out and she's on the trailer. Come take a look. And we walk out back and she looks and she's like, oh, that's ugly. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And then he looked over and she was staring at him.
Yeah. I'm like, it's gorgeous. Like,
it's so much potential.
Some people just can't see through the surface.
Yeah.
Like they can't see the potential.
You mean like
but my wife's she's not a car person at all. Like at all. When I met her, her idea of a cool car was like a Chrysler LeBaron.
Can you hear that movement over the headset?
Yep.
She's a little loud.
That's not
just when she's moving fast though. She's
Sounds like
whipping around.
Stuff said these cars had soul back then. Well, they were definitely built different back then. Holy crap. Uncle Red said convertible. If you're talking about converting this one to a convertible, I considered it. I considered cutting the roof off, but unfortunately, you'd have to reinforce the frame, something fierce. Like there would be a lot of steel that would have to get welded up underneath to hold the.
So here's the thing: if you're not doing a project video about it right away, you should stick that in the list of things to do, because that's not something a lot of people have done videos on, which means it's the kind of thing that would get you views. Yeah,
there's been a couple, like, I mean, because obviously I went looking for them. There was a girl, she had boobies, so she had a lot of views. I mean, I too have boobies, but they're not as nice as hers, so I won't get as many views. But she was building one to take to a show, but hers started in much better condition than this one.
Hers started. Hard stop. Hers started.
yeah, it did have a motor. Oh, Uncle Ron said, no, the LeBaron. Yeah. The LeBaron was definitely a convertible, and it talked. So, but no, like I said, I'm not ready to give up on it. My problem is I don't know how or where to store it at this point. As Uncle Ron can contest, my yard it's filling up. So I need to make some provisions around here. I have an old boat that I probably won't ever do anything with. I acquired it when my parents got a divorce way back in early 90s. And it's just kind of been sitting. It ran when it was parked. That's the famous last words. I did look at. I have been thinking about getting it, like taking it and starting it to make sure it does run, and then selling it for whatever I can get out of it, because I'll likely never do anything with it. So why leave it sit there? We base it. Am I late? Nope, we're not done. We still got 38 minutes. You guys, you're plenty on time. But and then I have Charlie, which is the 99 Suburban, which I bought for the interior for my 92 Chevy. And now I'm not sure if that's the direction I want to go, but I don't want to get rid of the Suburban because the interior is still in it. So it kind of works like a shed. So if I take the interior out of it to get rid of the Suburban, it's completely rotted underneath. It was a New York vehicle, so it's completely rotted out. But if I take the interior out of it to get rid of the Suburban, then I have to have somewhere to store the interior. So right now it's dry, out of the weather, safe. So the Suburban's taking up space. Then I have another 92 Eagle Talon all-wheel drive, and Daisy. If you guys don't remember Daisy, Daisy is my 99 Chevy 3500 dually that was lightly kissed in the front by an excavator. Oh, it's convertible. Sorry, it's a convertible 3500. That one's gonna go, but I actually want to get it running as it is first, so that I know that the engine runs before I put it in my half-ton truck. So, hang the interior from the rafters of the garage. You know better than how would I get it up there? If the upstairs was done, that would be different. I could put it all upstairs, but there's no hanging it from the rafters of the garage.
I mean, anything can be hung from the rafters if you're brave enough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I reckon I could put it. I do have overhead storage down in the corner, but it's just best to leave it where it is. It's safe where it is. So really what I need to do is I need to start pushing stuff over into my neighbor's yard and just get him used to the fact that I'm encroaching on him just a little at a time. Like I'll just move everything just 6 inches at a time until it's just on his land. That's great. So, but I had to unload the Dodge frame off of the trailer to use the trailer to get the T-Bird out. So now I have a Dodge frame. I have the boat, the Dodge frame, Daisy, the other 92 Talon, Charlie, and then my box trailer, which is really just a shed. So, yeah. Oh, and I forgot. Uncle Ron said need to get rid of that black Dodge. I forgot. I also have Uncle Ron's Dodge truck here, which is the black truck that you see in any photos that I post. Even if it looks like a Ford dually, it's really Uncle Ron's Dodge. I almost used Uncle Ron's Dodge yesterday to get the T-Bird out, because I couldn't quite maneuver my truck in where I wanted it. So I was actually going to use his truck as an anchor point and use the snatch block. But I was able to move a few things and get it where I needed to be. So, yeah. And shout out to Harbor Freight for their Badland 12,000-pound winch. I've had it for a few years now, but I don't think I've ever really used its potential. It just, like a shining star yesterday. That thing's got like 65 feet of cable on it. It just works. I had a 3500 on there before, and it would strain pulling stuff up. This winch with the proper battery cabling and stuff doesn't even know what you're doing. Ron said plenty of room once you knock the fence down. Yeah, well, in the back it helps. The front sucks that the gate fell down. So I have a 10-foot gate that never actually became a gate like it was going to be, but I just screwed it up there as a panel. And then there's a 4-foot section and then a 10-foot gate. And the post on the 4-foot section broke. So I have to replace that post, which here's a good tip for you. If you ever have to replace a wooden fence post, if you have an engine crane, a hydraulic engine hoist, pull the post off. You're going to have some still down in the ground. Run a big lag bolt down into it with a chain and use a engine crane to pull it straight out of the ground. And then you can slide the new post right back down into the old hole. I did that after a hurricane once, worked flawlessly. So, but I have to replace that post tomorrow or Saturday, which is fine. I have posts, no big deal. But I have to go get 3 10-foot 2x4s for the slat or for the runners, and then try to move all of the old kind of rotted slats over, so I don't have to buy anything, because I want to put a shipping container there, so I don't want to pay for a new fence. But I have to keep my neighbors appeased for right now.
Tony Ryan says, is James printing with the Mark III? I thought everyone was selling them now that the XL is shipped. I did not pre-order an XL.
I did not order XL either. Why would I want such a tiny little printer?
I am considering adding one more printer to the mix, but I may also have another one on the way, so I'm waiting to, like, somebody has potentially offered to send me one in exchange for doing some work.
Buddy once told me
that YouTube's gonna demonetize me because
no. They say you have to sing well, and I don't sing well, so that's fine. What did everybody think of my marvelous poem for today's tweet?
I mean, it was pretty good because Xander didn't comment on it.
It's well, he's off on an adventure today. He's not home. He might be home now, but he was in a town a couple and a half hours from here.
Oh my!
Went
Raising a little heck.
Went to a museum. Uncle Ron said, I need to renew the registration on the Dodge, trying to decide if I should do a 1 year or 2 year. Well, we should talk about that, because if you're not going to drive it, why would you pay for a registration and insurance? Just turn the tag in, stop paying insurance. We'll park that thing in the corner and I'll start it once in a while. Not that I've started it since you left it here, because I'm a terrible friend, but
hey, at least you're a friend, apparently.
I really need more land. It's so funny because every once in a while I have to drive over onto my next door neighbor's lot, and let me it might be too late to preface this story, but my next door neighbor is awesome. Like he and I get along super well. Like, we have the kind of relationship where he needs a plumbing part, he knows where it is in my garage, and he just goes and takes it. I wish he would stop that, but it's the kind of relationship we have. But no, like
yeah, because then you need to go get the part later. You're like, oh, toilet's overflowing. There's poop everywhere. It's okay. I got the thing just for this. I won't even bother to turn off the water.
yeah, no, it's it's good. But no, he's the kind of neighbor that, like, I could call him at 2:00 in the morning and be like, dude, I have to lift something heavy, and he would come and help me lift it. And he's actually older than me, but
in better shape, I understand.
Probably, yeah. So, but every once in a while, like I will have so much crap in my yard that I then end up having to, like, drive into his yard and then, like, drive out his driveway to leave or whatever, like, and it just kind of makes me chuckle because I actually have more land than he does, but I also have more crap than he does. So his backyard, I'll be out driving my RC car, and I'll drive it a little bit in my backyard, but mostly in here at his, because it's a big open space. One of these days. Uncle Ron said, that the one that was fixing your patio? Yep, absolutely. That's the one. So, in fact, Mike was the one, the day I bought my lift, the day I brought my lift home from the trucking depot, my wife and I were supposed to be going out for dinner, and it was on my car trailer, and I had backed the car trailer into the garage, unhooked it, and I was on my way back to the house, and Mike was out in his yard, and I said, hey, can you help me lift something real quick? And he's like, yeah, sure. I was only teasing, I wanted to show him that I'd gotten the lift, and I take him into the garage, and he's like, yeah, well, let's get it off there. And I'm like, well, I was only kidding. And he's like, well, no, it's got to come off of there. So we spent like 30 minutes and unloaded 3,000 pounds worth of lift off of the trailer and onto the garage floor so that I could assemble it.
And then ruined date night.
And then, yeah, my wife kept texting me like, "Where are you?" I'm like, lift comes first. So, but yeah, that's just the kind of neighbor that he is. I'm trying to get him to be my YouTube sidekick, but I don't know.
Maybe if you ever get successful.
Yeah, once the dollars start rolling, and then it'll be different.
Your views drop by 10% because he's not watching the content anymore because he already knows what happens.
Right? No, that's not very nice of you to say because I have 482 subscribers to the Garage channel.
I haven't even checked.
Find my mouse.
I don't remember the last time I actually checked on either of my channels, to be honest. It's weird. I kind of just like I was at the point where I was checking multiple times a day.
Yeah,
And
I watch pretty consistently.
my main channel is at 7,197. And the retro channel is at 1,284.
Nice. Someday I'll be there.
I did have some ones unsubscribe after I had I forget how many I ended up getting from. I think I got a little over 100 from the shuttle PC video.
That's amazing. I
I
mean,
got
like if you put it into perspective, like if there was a channel that had 1 million subscribers
Yeah.
and they did a video of that caliber, they would get like another 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
I'm just too fat and nobody likes me.
you know what I find to be really funny though, because you know, as a YouTuber, I look at everybody's channel, like even the people that I watch, and I'm not going to call anybody out on it. Cletus McFarlane. Old Cleater's got well over 1 million subscribers. He'll have 700,000 views on a video, and he'll have like 40,000 likes. People just do not click that like button. And I don't know if we've just become a society where it's like watch and move on, watch and move on, watch and move on. But I also noticed that he doesn't ask for it either.
I don't remember if I asked in the shuttle PC video. It is sitting at 400 likes on the dot out of 11,000 views and 2 thumbs down.
Well, that's completely tolerable. I mean, my videos are usually 400 thumbs down and 2 likes. Actually, you know, knock on synthetic Chinese lumber. I don't get many thumbs downs.
It's funny, right? And I'm trying to get out of the frame of mind, but the thumbs down always affect you more than the thumbs up. Like I'll put out a video. Like I've got a video that I think the lowest ratio video I have is 88% thumbs up to thumbs down. And I'm like, I must have done so much wrong in that video. And it's like the vast majority of people liked it. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe I ticked one guy off and he went in there with his.
Yeah, you just don't know. And like, admittedly, in the beginning, it used to bother me. Now I don't really care anymore. Like, really, I care more about engagement than I do. Like, whether it's thumbs up or thumbs down, they thought to push the button.
Yeah.
That's engagement. I love when people leave me comments. Like nobody on the Garage channel, well, nobody on this channel either, really leaves me mean comments. At least not very often. I've had a few on this channel, but like none on the Garage channel yet. I'm sure it'll happen eventually.
Yep.
But the comments that I get, I mean, even the ones that I chuckle at, like as far as people telling me a solution to the problem when I've already fixed the problem by the end of the video. Like that makes me chuckle. At least they took the time to say something. You know, they were engaged enough in the content that they were thinking about what the problem could be. And that's amazing to me because the community is always super helpful. So Tony Ryan said, besides, I'm busy fighting creepers in Minecraft. Yeah, he said it's because I mostly listen to you guys as background noise just to not feel lonely and pretend like I have friends.
Adam in 3D says, I wonder how much is people watching on TV game consoles because it takes a few extra steps. That is true. I am far less likely to click the like button.
That's a super good point. And
Yep.
welcome, Adam. Thanks for being here. That's a good point. So, but it's unfortunately, it's what drives YouTube. It's what drives the algorithms. I don't know if I shared
Freaking
this.
Al Gore and his rhythm,
Right. I know I shared it with James. My highest viewed video, which was the lift kit install on Shenanigans Explorer. It's 2% subscribed and 98% not subscribed.
But it also makes sense for the content that's in that, right?
Yeah, but if you're looking for that content and you come and watch my stuff, if you like it, why wouldn't you subscribe? Wouldn't you want to watch more from me?
That's true.
I mean,
I legitimately, the thing that's holding you back the most right now, in my opinion, is you need a larger library of content, because it is that average person has to watch 5 of your videos before they'll subscribe. So there may be people that are watching the video, then clicking on going, oh, there is no more of this type of content in the channel. And certainly you had probably a fairly large influx of views at the beginning of release, and it's probably tapered off over time a little bit. And when that video is released, you didn't have much content out yet.
yeah,
it is such a double-edged sword that I've seen tutorials for people that are up to like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they had 20 videos on their channel before they put their stuff live.
Yeah.
So that anybody stumbling across them on their first video would see that they already had content out. And I'm like, that's smart, but I don't have the patience to do that either.
Yeah, well, I mean, you figure we released the very first video 9 months before the second one.
Yep.
Like, there was a huge gap in there, but that first one was still getting a ton of views. And then, then the Fummins content started to come. And I mean, the channel's been primarily Fummins, but I've been trying to pepper other stuff in there so that people will realize that that's not all it's going to be. Because when that project is finally done, chances are there won't be any more. I mean, I may do a second one. I still want to turn the T-Bird into a Fummins. and now more than ever, now looking at the condition of that car, now more than ever.
What are you going to call it? The Thunmans?
It's still a Fummins. It's still a Ford.
That's true.
But I don't know. There's nothing like strapping 325 horsepower and 1,100 foot-pounds of torque into a car that's all rusted. Uncle Ron said, so we need to put a lift kit in the Dodge or a Carolina squat. No Carolina squats allowed on my channel ever. Though I am looking at starting a type of charity where I help them by putting the rest of their lift kit in at no charge. Because they only put the fronts in and they don't put the backs in. But
I screwed up. I should have had this pie case done for Pi Day. And then I was going to release pictures of the progress, like on Twitter, like not going to. And I was like, no, because then I'm worried somebody's going to get to the punch before me.
No.
Rip off my good ideas.
Adam said, how many of those viewers were only looking for videos of Explorer upgrades? I know a handful of them are, because they comment like, hey, when is there going to be more content? And I have to reply with, I'm sorry, the owner of that vehicle moved away. And now I have to reply with, I'm sorry, the owner of that vehicle totaled it. Thanks, Sean. Gosh, you jerk.
Okay, I need you to go check Fun King Garage for the latest comments, because I want to delete what I just put. So
what?
I thought you'd get a notification because you're talking about how you never get any negative comments on your videos.
I'm not logged in out here. I'm logged in as Fun King 3D.
Okay, I'll just tell you what I just wrote. You suck on your like coming or their thank you video, and I'm gonna delete it.
That's fine.
But now I'm deleting it because I don't want to get.
Xander always posts negative stuff too. I don't care. It's interaction either way. But no, Adam, you're absolutely right. I mean, those people came looking for one certain thing, but the plan is to have a wide variety of things, at least until I find a super niche that I can lock into. So now I don't want to, because I don't have his permission to tell you what Sean bought, but it could turn into a project vehicle. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I did
mean,
see the picture on. He did post it on Facebook. I saw
he
that.
did post it on Facebook.
I'm not saying to talk about, but he did post.
Yeah, I want his permission before I say anything. So I mean, he's not like a super like freaked out. Don't look at me type. I mean, he shares a lot of his stuff, but I don't want to take it upon myself to think it's okay.
Do you know what year it is though? I don't know anything about it.
I don't know if he told me that. He did give me a couple of things that he's wanting to do to it.
Is it new or used? That was my bigger question. Do you know for sure?
I think it's used, but I don't know. I don't know. So, oh, Brian's finally here. Gosh, now we can start all over again for Brian. Brian, you missed so much. You're gonna have to go back and rewatch this episode. We talked about so much stuff. I even gave away some spoilers. But yeah, that could turn into content, and that content could actually be somewhat of a replacement for the Explorer content. James did ask me if I found a replacement for the Explorer. A viewer sent me a comment and said to look at certain years, and I don't remember what they are, but they're the years that came with the 5.0, the 302 V8, which I'd never realized that the Explorers came with a 302 in them. That would be fun if I could find one cheap enough.
That's what it came down to, right? Like it's got to be worth the price because it's got to be at the right price, rather.
Absolutely, because it's not something that I'm absolutely looking for.
Yep.
Though I live right south of the Ocala National Forest, which is a huge national forest with a lot of trails through it. So building an off-road vehicle to me would be a lot of fun. But I really want to do a Jeep Wrangler. Now, it's a good possibility that I'll just replace that content with Jeep Wrangler content. The problem with that is there's already so many. Like, there's a bazillion people that build Jeeps because everything's available for Jeeps. So the Explorer was a little bit of a niche market. But and there's people that own them that want to do stuff with them, but the parts are so far and few between that you have to get very creative on what you do, and sometimes you pay out the yazoo. Now those BFS, I think it's BFS suspension parts, absolutely fantastic quality. I was super impressed by them. So, but they're pricey. They were about $700 for the upper control arms. But they're all handmade, so you got to pay that labor.
Yep.
So I wouldn't mind picking one up, but if I'm going to build it as an off-road vehicle, I definitely don't want the nicest one out there, but I also don't want something crappy. You need to build a diesel Morvair. Yeah, Matt's got more money than I do, though. Matt can afford to build stuff like that. I can't. That new off-road wrecker that he built, holy crap, is that thing amazing. So his fabrication style is a little bit different than mine too. I'm a little too OCD. He's a little bit, this is close enough, I'm just going to weld it in there. Yes. Someday I'll do a collaboration with Matt. I'd like to get Robbie Layton to do some of my paint work. He should come and paint the T-Bird.
So after all that jogging up and down, I was like, I'm, like setting up the print. The print's nowhere near tall enough to see if it's gonna stick at the higher levels.
You don't. Yeah, well, I was gonna say you don't know. It could stick 2 centimeters up.
That's the thing. If it ends up being a power issue or like a bearing issue or whatever, it could happen anywhere. But it could also be that it was going to stick in 2 places, and like I got the first place unjammed, and then it stuck in the second one because there is a height difference again. Like I was saying, the second one is the latest one is higher up.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of looking at it, and like I've got a couple of people that are going to want one of these. I don't think that layer line's bad enough that I'm not going to I'm
No,
not going to use it.
yeah, I wouldn't panic over that as long as it's structurally sound. Who cares?
I would say it's structurally sound, especially since this is in Jesse PLA, which is $5,000 a roll in Canada.
Right. So $4 here.
Perfect.
Uncle Ron said, "Paint it dirty patina gloss." I wouldn't want it glossy, but I'm not painting it. It's gonna look just like that. I'm gonna fix the rust. If you guys haven't yet had the experience, I mean, if you're into car stuff, if you haven't yet had the experience of seeing Puddin from Puddin's Fab Shop, please go check out Puddin. If you watch one of his videos and you're just not sure, watch another one. Because when I first found him, I kind of watched it like this. The dude's hysterical, and he's very down to earth. Does pretty good work. His channel is growing leaps and bounds. It's amazing.
Have you considered being a little bit tacky, for lack of a term, when you send people from our live streams and stuff over to say and comment that Glenn from Fun King Garage sent me? You get some people putting comments in like that, and then people click on them to go see what this Fun King Garage thing's all about.
Yeah, that feels dirty.
I mean, it depends on how bad you want it, I guess.
No, I want to earn it. I want to earn it legitimately. And not only that, but I mean, these are people in the not necessarily in the car industry, but in the YouTube industry that I look to have as colleagues.
Oh, so you don't want them to hate you because you're annoying?
Yeah. I mean,
because you burned that out in the 3D printing world, and now we're 10 to 15 viewers live stream.
Absolutely right. I came into 3D printing like a wrecking ball.
Yep, you wrecked it all right. Wrecked him. Damn near killed him.
No, but seriously, I mean, I've made some really great friends in 3D printing. But like, I mean, even the day that I met Derek from Vice Grip Garage,
Dirk,
he was literally by himself. There was no one else around, and I could have absolutely thrown myself at him and given him stickers and been like, "Dude, please come and look at my YouTube channel."
And then stolen his wallet and ran away.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not the relationship that I want to have with these people. I want to be able to do collaborations and stuff. I want them to look forward to working with me. And I also know that he was in a really rough spot that day. Like,
you didn't realize until like you started looking around. That's what you're saying, is that like
the I just supposed
to be inside the car.
I just kind of approached him and said, "Hey, I don't want to get in your way, but can I shake your hand? I'm a big fan." And then all of a sudden I realized that the parts that were laying out of the car should not have been out of the car. And
did he talk to you at all?
Yeah. I mean,
when he talked to you, was it in character or was it just a guy?
No, it's just Derek. I mean, he's quite normal.
Because I've had people say, "Oh no, that's not even a persona for him. That's the way he acts. That's like his dad persona type thing."
Well,
like,
I'm sure, because he does it so much that I'm sure it is like a regular basis to him.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I heard him standing. Well, even when he's like when he's doing the self vlogging at the events and stuff, and you watch, he's normal. I mean, he's not doing all the crazy stuff. He's just telling a story.
Yep.
And I heard him, like when he's talking with his wife and stuff. No, he's normal. I mean, as normal as he can be. But no, a lot of that is maybe for his kids he does it, but like it's a camera thing. Like, he's just goofing around in the garage. So I don't know, like when you're working on projects, but see, you don't 3D printing is different because you make a project and then you film it.
Yep.
Or you make part of it and you film it. As where like automotive stuff, you're filming while you're doing it. So you're talking the whole time. And I've talked to myself for years. It just, I guess it's a ADD thing. Because my kid does it too. But But now I have an excuse when the neighbors are like, "Who are you talking to?" "Oh, the camera. That camera doesn't even have a battery in it." "Oh, did I forget to put the battery in that?" Um,
Oh
but
no, that
I always
happens
say
every
when Mike
time.
walks over, I always say to him, "Don't say anything incriminating. Camera's running." But no, so like I suppose like you have to be somewhat more entertaining. Like I don't know. I'm goofy. I don't know. Like my character hasn't come out on video yet. Like I haven't established my garage character yet. My character here is I'm all like tight knit and family friendly. My character in the garage is I'm actually a pole dancer.
Stripper for hire. Just takes the paint off, no problem.
Uncle Ron said maybe you should let him know if your garage is available if he needs it during the events in Florida. I've sent him an email a while back and told him that I was about halfway between. I'm not going to mention names, but somebody that he knows in Gainesville and somebody that he knows in Tavares. I said, if you're ever in that area and you're stranded or whatever and need a facility that's well equipped, you are more than welcome to hit me up. So Mitch said, "What did I miss? Why does everybody come in here at the end and be like, what did I miss? You missed everything."
So I keep saying, like, because I sent you a message asking if an earlier time would work on Thursdays that I don't think you replied to on the Twitters. But it's funny because the fact that everybody keeps showing up late maybe means that we should be doing 8 to 10 instead of 7 to 9.
I can't do 8
It's
to
a joke.
10.
It's a joke. It's
I
a
have
joke.
to be asleep by 10 at my age, but I also get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Not lately because of this stupid time change, but
should I spend?
Okay, good. I missed it. Yeah, well, I'm going to delete the replay of it too, so you can't watch it.
Should I spend 5 minutes updating on the bathroom?
Yeah, you should. You should probably give everybody. I don't even really know what's going on. I haven't talked to you much about it since last week.
So they sent out another guy to take a crack at fixing the tub. And
That's
he walked
funny.
in.
It's funny that you say a crack because plumbers always, the plumber crack.
Oh, yeah. I was like, there's no crack in the tub. I'm like, I did say take a crack at fixing the tub. So he walked in. Really nice guy. And immediately said, they've called me in because I am the best at this. And I'm going to give you the repair that you should have had at the beginning. And then he spent the time explaining where the imperfections that I was seeing on the tub were coming from. Because I thought when they mixed the last batch of whatever they're trying to color match that it went a little too purple. He said, no, the fiberglass in these tubs has a purple tint to it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And he said the indentations from they tried to first remove the indentation from where the tile hit it to smooth it out. So the indentation isn't too deep, you can sand into the surface to get it smooth again, and then you sort of like work it out so that you can't tell that, it's like when you're mudding a wall. You never get the wall perfectly smooth, so you just try and distribute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they took it too far. And then the guy he goes, they didn't use any type of paint on it. I can tell they've then sealed it, and now you've got this purple tint shining through from the fiberglass. And up until that point, I had actually not noticed that there was indentations everywhere they did the repair. But he said that is in fact normal. Like that is one of the ways they do it. Saying you're the best usually is the red flag. I'm going to agree with him. He came in.
Well, no, I thought you were saying you agree with Mitch because that's scary. I always tell people I'm the best.
No, I'm agreeing with the guy's assessment that he is the best. Okay. I walked in afterwards, and other than the fact that there is a difference in the amount of glossiness of the spots that he repaired, I can't see the repair. So when there isn't
more glossy or less glossy,
it's a little more glossy. So it's probably going to fade in over time anyway.
I was going to say that may dull down from use.
Yeah. So legitimately, so Kay was like, well, I don't like the fact that it's glossy still. And I said, well, I don't love it either, but I do think that a month or two down the line after using it that gloss is going to fade a little bit and it's going to blend in. And I'm like, it is at the point now where I personally don't feel it. And then she agreed that it's worth the time and effort that like the weeks that we would be without a bathroom again to get them to gut it and put a new one back in.
Right.
Because at this point, that's like, so he spent 2 or 3 hours on the tub. He built up the areas that the guy had worn down. He goes, the first thing I did was mix the paint that was going to go on top of it and I color matched it because there's no point in doing the rest if I can't get a perfect match. But we walked in afterwards and I'm like, other than the fact that it's a little bit shinier than the rest of it, I can't see it. And he said that the standard for tub repairs is that you can't see the imperfection from 3 feet away. And he always goes better than 3 feet. And like, sure enough, like I agree. So surprisingly, we did not think the tub was going to be repaired to a state that we would be happy with, but yeah.
Excellent.
So other than that, the vanity has been replaced. I think I talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened when they reinstalled the top of the vanity, the countertop, but the faucet now has next to no water pressure. Like I push the tap up and there's like a half-second delay before the water starts to flow and it's just...
And the valves are on all the way?
Yep. First thing I checked was the valves were on the way. Then I came downstairs because I'm like, everything else is still fine pressure-wise, but they did have to turn the main off. So like maybe that there's, but turn it off, turn it all the way back on. It's still the same.
Yeah, maybe when they were hooking it up, the little rubber seal in there squished and it's blocking the water flow. But
here's the thing, it's like that. It's like that on cold and hot water. And here's the weird thing too, is that if I switch it to a mix between hot and cold, usually if you turn on your cold tap and then you turn your hot tap, you end up with more pressure with the two of them running than one.
Right.
There's no pressure difference as I move back and forth between the two of them. So
maybe there was some crud got in there and then it went up into the faucet itself.
So the owner of the son of the owner of the contracting company came over and to inspect the tub and he said, okay, so is everything else good? And he saw some imperfections in the caulking. So at that point I went through, I'm like, look, they didn't clean the tiles before they did the caulking. They just caulked over it. So there's buildup in all the corners. So like it needs to be pulled out and redone because it's going to constantly look like it's dirty. And on top of that,
they need to clean up that grout.
Yeah.
That grout looks like a 2-year-old did it.
Well, and the other problem is that because they didn't clean the tiles at all before they did it, there's grout built like on the edges of the caulking. So, you know what I mean? Like it's not just in the corners, it's actually all along the edge. So he's like, no, well, I'm definitely going to come out. We'll get that.
The grout was like they were picking up the grout powder as they were doing it. And it was laying along the edge of the caulking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There is not a screen in the tap. I say it's got like a metal grate at the end of it, but it's not a removable. It's not like the old screens, like, where you can unscrew it and pull it out
on
or
the
whatever.
Sink?
Yeah.
They should all be removable. You have to be able to clean those out.
Well, it's not a screen though. It's like it's a metal grate where there's like that much space in between the bars on it.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen it. It's funny. There was enough pressure the first time you turned it on that the water came out and split into 2 streams, and then like I ran my thumb over it and it like recombined. So I guess like the way the air, I have no idea what exactly led to it, but it was weird. It was like a joke I can't make about coming out in 2 separate streams. But
right.
Anyways, so my only thing is he was supposed to be here this morning to finish the caulking and stuff like that. And I texted him last night. I'm like, what time can we expect you? And he said, oh, I'm going to come on Friday. And instead I said, no, I've got company coming Friday. Like, it'll have to be next week. Like, I'm not going to argue about, because like I didn't want to get up early this morning anyways, but
yeah,
it's like, we're not going to have company here and be like, oh, also the bathroom smells like, caulking smells like vinegar and stuff like that. And,
oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
Yep.
I absolutely hate the way silicone smells, but I also hate the way vinegar and Tabasco sauce smells.
So hopefully we will be wrapped up next Thursday. Like by and large, you've seen the pictures. I think the bathroom looks beautiful. There's all these things that are going to bug me a little bit.
Don't give in. That's what they're going to do. They're going to wear you down until you give in. Did they paint behind the toilet?
They did not paint behind the toilet.
Make them paint behind the toilet. Make them do it. It's
And
going
then
to cost them a wax ring and an extra 20 minutes to pull the toilet, paint behind it, and put the toilet back.
I'll talk to Kay and see how feisty we're feeling at this point. But you're right. It is harder too. It's like we just want to get back to life and we want to be able to use it. And
That's exactly what happens. They wear you down until you're just like, you know what? Just fine. It's done. Yeah. Here's your money. Get out.
So at least because like the big thing was like the caulking. He's going to redo the caulking. I've pushed for it at this point, and I'm like, you know.
And are they going to use white this time?
I am going to. So I'm making sure I'm here, and I'm going to be like, look, regardless of whether or not it's going to turn pink, I want to do white. You can tell me it's the wrong decision. If it's the wrong decision, that's my fault. Because he and I had the conversation, and he said, well, I talked to your wife, and she said translucent. I said, yeah, but you and I had already had a conversation, and it was going to be white. And she said that you came to her and asked what she wanted. She said she wasn't sure, and you recommended translucent. He goes, yeah, I recommended the translucent. I said, but we had already established at that point, so her not being privy to that.
Right.
So
yeah, because the white caulking will turn a pinkish color.
But that's like 10 years down the line over time. Like that's
well, it depends. It depends on how much you use it and how much water lays there. And
here's the thing for me too is that caulking is something I can do. So if I have to redo it every 5 years so it looks okay,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can take the 2 hours that it's going to take to peel it out, clean it out, and then rebeat it. Cause like it's not.
Yeah,
like,
they actually sell a tool that's like a 90-degree blade that you just hook in there and pull it, and then you just put some new stuff in. But
I'm still old school where I use my thumb, a wet thumb to do the shaping.
To smooth it. Yeah, no, but I'm saying to cut the old stuff out. But the white stuff is going to get a little pinkish on it because of the mildew, but the clear stuff turns black. The reason the pink or the white stuff turns pink is it's the black turning it pink.
Yeah.
So you're going to get it in either shade. It's just going to look 1,000 times better in white.
So I think what he was saying is that because the translucent caulking is going to darken over time, it blends and it evens it out. And it has.
Oh, it's going to darken because that's the black mold that's growing behind it.
Yeah. So, anyways, all that to say, things are coming back together. I thought we were going to have to push and be like, you guys need to replace the tub. We didn't pay for a damaged tub, but
yeah, that's a big one with as much as you paid for that tub. That's a big one.
And the thing is too, is that we're sitting on the not wanting to replace it, not so much because of the work, but also we're also cognizant of the fact of how wasteful it is to do that. If the tub is not going to if it's going to make no difference to us in the long run, then we're happy to keep the other one around, you know?
But that's like going to buy a new car and they smash into the side of it right before you pick it up. And then you're like, it'd be wasteful to not take it. You know, like you paid good money for something.
I think the false equivalency there is that if that was the case, they would replace the damaged panel. They wouldn't just give you a completely brand new car, most likely. And maybe you would walk away.
Would you buy a brand new car that was wrecked? I wouldn't.
Probably
I'd tell them
not.
to stuff it.
That's probably fair. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy a repaired car, at least not for that, for the same price.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like, if they have repaired it and it is that good, then fine. Like the repair should be as strong, if not stronger, than the original surface.
Yeah.
Done.
So the only thing you add is that it does add that extra layer of maintenance for is that like you can't use harsher chemicals. He's like, I don't recommend using bleach on or anything like that. Just Dawn dish soap. But honestly, even in an undamaged, like a fully brand new tub, like the recommendation is always like Dawn dish soap.
Yeah,
something gentle.
Acrylic tubs always have a really nice finish to them, but they are more tender. You do have to be a little nicer to them.
Yeah.
So as where like with the kids' bathroom, I put a cast iron porcelain tub in there. All 800 freaking pounds of it, because I know what kids do. I used to drive my Hot Wheel cars in the bathtub because it was fun. Like
you've seen that meme online where the kids used their Beyblades in the tub and ruined it.
No, but that's a great idea.
Okay, just a second. Let me send this to you. This will be where we sign off with stuff. Beyblades ruin tub. Probably.
Uncle Ron said the bars are just to keep the fish from coming out of the sink. Uncle Ron said would probably just pull the tank off and paint behind it. They won't. That was the suggestion that I made to James last week, but because it was James's existing toilet, they won't pull the tank off because they don't want to be responsible should they not be able to put it back together. And if you've ever taken a toilet tank apart, you know how that goes. Usually things are a little rusted and corroded and peed all over.
There you go. Give that a quick gander, especially there's a picture of the eBay listing.
What the heck am I looking at?
I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in chat. It's a pretty funny story.
Selling 8 Beyblades to replace destroyed bathtub.
Yep.
I'll have to.
Okay, so I'll just give you the short form. These kids ruined the finish on a bathtub because they used it as their Beyblades arena, and the mother, to punish them, turned around and decided to sell their Beyblade collection on eBay and made them post with a picture holding them, and the kids are bawling their eyes out in the picture, right?
Yeah, they're all sad. Yeah.
So the internet got a hold of this and was like, this is Kids Will Be Kids. That's like, it's not like they were being malicious with it or doing something they thought they shouldn't be. Like, nobody would guess that was. So basically, they listed, I think, it a couple of times, and every time they listed, it would get onto Reddit and they would upbid it with fake accounts and stuff like that, to the point where it was like up over thousands and thousands of dollars.
This picture shows it at $999,999.
Yeah, and then it would get shut down. Anyways, I agree, that's harsh.
What the heck was that bathtub made out of that they destroyed? I guess a fiberglass or a acrylic tub would.
Well, and I think some of the Beyblades might be metal on the bottom, so that would.
Some of them Beyblades are pretty mean. My children have Beyblades. I like them. They're a fun toy.
You would like Beyblades.
You have anything to promote?
Nope. Everything's terrible all the time and always will be. You?
I should have that video out this week. I have fixed the glitch. I just have to get it uploaded. It'll be out on Sunday at 4 p.m. And yeah, it's got Uncle Ron in it. Usually just his legs and feet, but hey, whatever. You know, and I do call him a Sasquatch, so you want to tune in for that. Good times. But anyway, yeah, other than that, I don't have anything. Work has been going fantastic in the garage. New and really exciting content really, really soon, because I have 80 days to get ready for Hot Rod Power Tour. And I honestly have not put hands on the car that I'm about to fix. So it could be super interesting.
I hope it is.
Well, it can't not be. I mean, it's an amazing classic, and the issues that are known, like the known issues, one is a pretty weird, kind of rare problem. The other one is a very common problem, and it's terrible to fix just because of where it's at, but it's pretty common for that age of that model of car. Again, nobody guessed what it was, so you guys stink. Oh, you just wait. It's fantastic. I'm so excited. I probably have to put new tires on it before it goes, though. And I believe those are 15s as well. So either way, I'm going to eat a set of 15-inch tires, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's going to be a fantastic road trip. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about the Hot Rod Power Tour. Google it. It is a 5-day event across 4 states, and it's just overall a really great time. So I'm looking forward to finally getting to do it, even though we're not doing it as a family. It's sad, but it's good. Otherwise, this is the part where I say thank you to each and every one of you for showing up. And again, got my eye on Eugene. Thank you so much for last week. Thanks for all for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. We'll most likely do it again next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel, at least until we decide on a better time and a better channel. So until next time, as always,
Print on.